this is Grace, and so I am here for tip number 3 in the Big Advice to a Beginner Scrapbooker series. I don't know yet if I'm going to change the title of this once it's all live, but I think I'm going to go with just tips or advice to a beginner scrapbooker because I'm not very good with titles. Anyways, tip number 3, guys. So my tip will be, what is your scrapbooking essentials? So here's the thing. When I went to my very first online class, and this was in 2004, I think it was like spring of 2004, I went to a scrapbooking class, and the lady she just said to me beforehand, just bring your pictures. That was it. I didn't have to bring any products. So when I went there, she introduced me to what a paper trimmer is, introduced me to what cardstock is, acid-free, and all that good stuff. So literally the day after, I was at Michael's buying all those items. So if you're a beginner scrapbooker, you go to a scrapbooking store and you have, in just my local Michael's, there's like 4 aisles of just scrapbooking, paper crafting stuff. And so you are going to get overwhelmed. So what are my essential paper crafting supplies? It would be just, and I'm looking at my, I'm going there because I'm looking at my paper. It will be just, I would say, about 5 things. Only 5 things, and you can actually scrapbook. So what are those? The first thing is photos. Okay, scrapbooking, you have to have photos. And you might say, do you really have to scrapbook just photos? do you really have to have photos in all of the scrapbook pages that you have? I think it's essential, but I have to admit that I've made scrapbooking pages that doesn't have photos, or doesn't have photos of people. I do take pictures of other items like landscape or buildings or maybe even memorabilia. I do scrapbook those, but for the most part, you're scrapbooking your pictures. So pictures or memorabilia or whatever you want to call that you want to scrapbook. And the second one is paper. It could be just cardstock in the beginning. So why paper? Because you have to put your photos into something, right? So paper is an essential, and go with acid-free. That is the big difference between just kind of a smashbook or a journal, is the acid-free. And the reason, I guess there are some journals now that are acid-free, but for me, I'm a big believer of acid-free items because you want these pages to last long. And acid-free meaning that there is no acid in the paper that will cause your pictures to erode over time, and you don't want that. That's why if you look at really, really old pictures, over 100-year-old photos, they have those yellowing on the edges, and that's because whatever you put that photo on, it wasn't acid-free, and so the acid on the paper caused erosion on the photo, and we don't want that. So acid-free paper is number 2. Number 3 is a paper trimmer. Paper trimmer and scissors. So in the beginning, I only had scissors, and scissors are fine, but then if you're like me and you're kind of meticulous with a straight edge, paper trimmer is a good way to go. And if you have 40% off coupon to either Michael's, Hobby Lobby, or Joann's, you can get your paper trimmer fairly inexpensive. So that is number 3 essential tool for scrapbooking. Number 4 is adhesive. Now you have to have an adhesive to glue your photos to your page, and so you also have to make sure that they're acid-free and lignin-free. And you can either go with a liquid adhesive, a roller, a dot, a square. There's all kinds of ones, and I suggest try them all. Buy one, and then once it's done, try another one just to see which one you really like. So don't commit on the very expensive ones first. Try to get the not the cheaper ones, but the inexpensive ones first, and see which ones you really like. And then once you are you really like a specific style of adhesive, then invest in that one particular one. And also, moving forward, you're going to learn that you're going to need different kinds of adhesives for different kinds of things that you need to adhere. I won't go to that because that's just going to add to the overwhelming feeling of being a beginner scrapbooker. So we have photos, paper trimmer, and adhesive. And then the last one is a pen. And why I say pen is because you need to write down your journaling. I feel like every page needs to have a journaling, otherwise it's just a glorified photo album. Now, I'm sure I'm going to have some naysayers about that because they feel like that's not important part of their scrapbooking. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend, but for me personally, that's just how I feel. I mean, this is just my personal advice. Somebody that comes up to me and asks me, what would you tell me or advise me as far as scrapbooking? So that's what I would say, that journaling is very important. Even if it's just the typical who, what, when, where, and why, it's very important. You don't have to even go to emotions if that's not how you feel. But I'm telling you, I've been scrapbooking for 12 years, and when we look back with our scrapbooks, even like 3 to maybe 5 years ago, this journaling is very important. It's crucial for us to remember the things that we don't normally see in the photos. And then, so that's 5. And you're probably thinking, well, what about washi? What about stickers? Those are all like, they make our page really beautiful. But I'm telling you, all those 5 things and you can make a scrapbook. So a scrapbook page. So I hope that you guys are liking these videos, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.